Have you ever wondered if it's possible to transplant a human head? A thought that might seem straight out of a science fiction novel, yet it is a question that has captivated the minds of scientists and researchers worldwide. This radical idea, as unsettling as it may appear, is the concept of head transplants. A procedure that involves decoupling a head from its original body and attaching it to another. This isn't a new fascination. The notion has been floating around for decades, often serving as the premise for countless science fiction tales. However, it was in the year 2017 when this concept took a leap from the pages of fiction into the realm of scientific discourse. An Italian neurosurgeon, Sergio Canavero, boldly stepped forward and claimed to have performed the world's first head transplant. Canavero's audacious claim wasn't on a living human being but on a corpse. He reported that his team had successfully connected the spine, nerves and blood vessels of a decapitated head to a new body. A claim as radical as the concept itself. But this alleged breakthrough was greeted not with applause, but with a wave of skepticism. Why? Because this was a claim without independent verification. The scientific community, known for its rigorous standards of evidence, found itself grappling with a report that lacked transparency. Details were scarce, and skepticism was abundant. But this event, despite its dubious nature, sparked a global conversation about the feasibility and implications of head transplants. This radical idea, as controversial as it may seem, has opened a Pandora's box of questions. Can such a procedure ever be technically feasible? What about the ethical implications? Would the transplanted head retain its original memories and personality? These questions remain unanswered as we stand in the year 2024 and the concept of head transplants still firmly rooted in the realm of science fiction. But science has a way of turning fiction into reality, doesn't it? Now, let's delve deeper into this first reported head transplant. In 2017, a shocking announcement echoed through the medical community. A team led by the audacious Italian neurosurgeon Dr. Sergio Canavero claimed to have performed the world's first head transplant on a corpse in China. With the assistance of Dr. Xiaoping Ren from Harbin Medical University, Canavero asserted that they had successfully connected the spine, nerves and blood vessels of two separate entities. This was a claim that, if true, would shatter the perceived boundaries of modern medicine. However, this announcement was shrouded in ambiguity. The details were scant and the procedure's specifics remained obscure. There was no independent verification of this bold claim, and the scientific community was left with more questions than answers. How had they managed to reconnect the intricate network of nerves? How did they navigate the complex task of fusing the spinal cord? What techniques were used to prevent the body's immune system from rejecting the new head? In the absence of clear answers, skepticism began to bubble within the medical community. Critics pointed out the glaring lack of transparency, questioning the validity of Canavero's claim. The procedure itself was an extraordinary feat, one that would require a leap in medical technology that many deemed impossible with current techniques and drugs. The absence of independent verification only further fueled these doubts. Yet, the ethical implications of such a procedure were equally, if not more, concerning. If a head transplant were possible, what would it mean for the consciousness of the individual? Would the transplanted head retain its original memories and personality? These were profound questions that straddled the line between science and philosophy, raising significant ethical dilemmas. Despite the doubts, Canavero continued his radical experiments. His claims may have been met with skepticism, but they served to ignite a global conversation. A conversation about the limits of medical science, the ethical implications of radical procedures, and the very nature of human consciousness. As we delve deeper into this topic, we must remember that, as of 2024, successful head transplants remain firmly in the realm of science fiction. But who knows what the future might hold? From humans, Canavero turned his attention to our primate cousins. So, the tale takes a swing from macabre to downright bizarre. Canavero, never one to shy away from the spotlight, claimed to have successfully transplanted a head onto a monkey. Yes, you heard it right, a monkey. But as with his previous claim, details were as elusive as a chameleon in a rainforest. Now the concept is mind-boggling, isn't it? Imagine for a moment the intricacy of the procedure. The delicate dance of severing and reconnecting nerves, the challenge of ensuring the brain can function in an entirely new body. It's a feat that sounds more at home in the pages of a science fiction novel than in a surgical theater. However, Canavero's claim, much like the previous one, was not independently verified. It's like a blockbuster movie, but without the reviews. No one aside from Cannavaro and his team have seen the movie, let alone given it a thumbs up. And that, my friends, raises more than just a few eyebrows in the scientific community. Even if we momentarily suspend our disbelief, the challenges of nerve reconnection and brain function in a new body are immense. Think of it as trying to install the software of a supercomputer into a different machine. The hardware might be compatible, but will the software function as it should? That's the million-dollar question. And then there's the issue of survival. How long did this monkey, assuming it existed, live post-operation? Did it exhibit normal behaviors, or was it merely a shell of its former self? Again, these crucial details are mysteriously missing from Cannavaro's narrative. So we're left with more questions than answers. A head transplant on a monkey, a claim as audacious as it is unverified, a story that teeters on the edge of scientific possibility and pure science fiction. But why are these claims met with such skepticism? Opening. The idea of head transplants isn't just a technical challenge, but an ethical one as well. Imagine, for a moment, the intricate network of nerves, blood vessels, and spinal cord that connects your head to your body. It's a complex, delicate system that has evolved over millions of years. To cut and then reconnect these structures is a task of immense difficulty. This is the first major technical hurdle in head transplants. Our current surgical techniques, while sophisticated, are not advanced enough to handle such an operation. We can transplant hearts, lungs, and even faces, but a head transplant is a different beast entirely. Even if we could sever and reconnect the spinal cord, nerves, and blood vessels, there is still the issue of the immunosuppression drugs. These drugs would need to be incredibly potent to prevent the body from rejecting the new head, but such potency could also lead to a host of other health problems. Beyond the physical connections, there's the question of functionality. Would the transplanted head be able to control the new body? The brain's ability to send signals to and receive information from the body is fundamental to our existence. This communication happens through the spinal cord and nerves, the very structures that would be cut and reconnected during a head transplant. It is not yet known if these connections could be restored to a functional level after a transplant. Let's shift gears now and discuss the ethical hurdles. A head transplant is not merely a surgical procedure, it's a complete shift of one's physical identity. Would the transplanted head retain its original memories and personality? Would it be the same person, or would it become a new individual entirely? These are questions that, at present, we cannot answer. Then, there's the issue of consciousness. What happens to the consciousness of the transplanted head once it's attached to a new body? Would it wake up in a state of confusion, unable to comprehend its new reality? Would it experience the torment of being trapped in a body it doesn't recognize? These are not just philosophical questions, they are real, tangible concerns that need to be addressed before head transplants can be considered ethical. There's also the matter of consent. Who has the right to decide whether a head transplant should be performed? Does the decision rest with the person whose head is being transplanted, or does it also involve the family of the person whose body is being used? And what about the doctors performing the operation? What ethical guidelines should they follow? Lastly, there's the potential for exploitation. In a world where head transplants are possible, it's easy to imagine scenarios where the rich and powerful use this technology to extend their lives at the expense of the less fortunate. This is a dystopian vision, but one that we must consider if we are to fully understand the ethical implications of head transplants. Closing. These hurdles make head transplants a subject of debate and skepticism. The technical challenges are immense, and the ethical considerations are profound. For now, the idea of head transplants remains firmly in the realm of science fiction. But as our understanding of the human body and our surgical techniques continue to evolve, who knows what the future may hold? Despite these claims, head transplants remain, as of 2024, firmly in the realm of science fiction. The extraordinary tales of severed heads reconnected to new bodies are as captivating as they are controversial. Yet, they're still largely confined to the pages of novels and the frames of movie screens, far from the sterile confines of a modern operating theater. Currently, the science of head transplantation is riddled with challenges, both technical and ethical. The intricate maze of the human nervous system, composed of billions of neurons and synapses, makes the task of severing and reconnecting the spinal cord a Herculean feat. Our current surgical techniques are not sophisticated enough to ensure the long-term survival and function of a transplanted head. Then there's the issue of the body's immune response. The drugs we have today to suppress the immune system and prevent organ rejection are not potent enough to handle a procedure of this magnitude. Not to mention, the risks associated with long-term use of these drugs, such as infections and cancer. Ethically, the concept of head transplantation opens a Pandora's box of questions. Would the transplanted head retain its original memories and personality? What about the legal and social implications of such a procedure? And most importantly, is it right to take such extreme measures in the pursuit of extending human life? The answers to these questions are still shrouded in uncertainty. The scientific community continues to explore, debate, and innovate, but we are far from turning this science fiction into reality. The bold claims of successful head transplants, whether on humans or monkeys, have yet to be independently verified and accepted by the broader scientific community. So, as we stand in 2024, the idea of head transplantation remains more a topic for speculative fiction than a practical medical procedure. The journey from the operating table to the annals of medical history is a long one, fraught with obstacles and unknowns. So, the question remains, will we ever see a successful human head transplant? As we journey through the complex world of head transplants, we are reminded of the fine line between science and science fiction. In this exploration, we've delved into the audacious claims of unverified success, the experimental forays into the animal kingdom, and the daunting technical and ethical hurdles that stand in the way of this radical medical procedure. It's a journey that has taken us to the edge of what we currently understand and accept in the realm of medical science, yet leaves us standing on the precipice of a vast unknown. Let's take a moment to revisit the claims of Dr. Sergio Canavero and his team. In 2017, they announced the successful transplantation of a human head onto a corpse, followed by a similar experiment on a monkey. These claims, while startling and groundbreaking, lacked crucial independent verification. Without transparency and peer review, these assertions remain shrouded in skepticism, leaving us to question their validity. The technical challenges involved in head transplantation are monumental. The intricate task of severing and reattaching the spinal cord, nerves and blood vessels at the head-body junction is a feat of precision and complexity that pushes the boundaries of our current surgical capabilities. Even if these technical hurdles were surmounted, we would still face the challenge of ensuring long-term survival and function with the aid of immunosuppression drugs, which are yet to be proven adequate for such a task. And then, there are the ethical considerations. What would it mean for a transplanted head to regain consciousness in a new body? Would the original memories, personality, even the very essence of the individual remain intact? These are profound questions that probe the very nature of identity and consciousness, and they remain largely unanswered. In the face of these immense challenges, head transplants remain, for now, a concept rooted in the realm of science fiction. But science fiction, as we know, often foreshadows science fact. It's a testament to human curiosity and ingenuity, a beacon that guides us into the uncharted territories of knowledge and discovery. Yet, it's crucial to remember that the journey from fiction to fact is not a leap, but a painstaking process of research, experimentation, and most importantly, verification. As we stand at this fascinating crossroads of medical science, we are reminded of the importance of rigorous scientific inquiry, of skepticism and scrutiny, and of the ethical considerations that guide us. Until these hurdles are overcome, the concept of a head transplant remains a fascinating yet unproven frontier of medical science. It's a tantalizing glimpse into a future that could redefine our understanding of life, death, and consciousness. But for now, it remains just that, a glimpse, a hint of what could be, waiting for the day when science catches up with fiction. Until these hurdles are overcome, the concept of a head transplant remains a fascinating yet unproven frontier of medical science.